What if peace after 65 isn't about having more, but about worrying less? And what if you could start living that way today? I'm sharing 7 simple, proven steps that help seniors just like you eliminate daily worry and experience genuine peace, not someday, but starting right now. The 5th step is something most people resist their whole lives, but once you embrace it, the relief is almost immediate, and thousands say it changed everything. After turning 72, Lawrence noticed he spent most days anxious about things that never happened, worried about money that was sufficient, health that was stable, and relationships that were fine. A conversation with his longtime physician changed his perspective. Worry wasn't keeping him safe, it was stealing his peace. Within 3 months of applying 7 specific changes, Lawrence said he felt lighter than he had in decades. Step 1. Simplify your daily routine. Are you exhausting yourself trying to maintain a lifestyle that no longer serves you? Too many seniors are pushing through demanding schedules, maintaining large homes they don't need, and juggling commitments that drain rather than fulfill them, all while wondering why they feel so tired and stressed. Research from the Stanford Center on Longevity demonstrates that seniors who intentionally simplify their daily routines experience significantly lower cortisol levels, which is your body's primary stress hormone, and report better overall life satisfaction than those maintaining complex, demanding schedules. Your body and mind are telling you to slow down, but you're fighting against that wisdom because you think simplifying means giving up or admitting defeat. It doesn't. Simplifying means honoring the season of life you're actually in, instead of pretending you're still 40. The exhausting routines you maintain aren't badges of honor. They're anchors preventing you from experiencing the lightness that's available to you right now. Every unnecessary task you eliminate creates space for peace to enter. Every commitment you release frees energy for what actually matters. Pauline discovered this at 68 when she was maintaining a 4-bedroom house she barely used, hosting elaborate monthly dinners she dreaded, and serving on committees that felt like obligations rather than contributions. Downsizing to a smaller home and cutting her commitments in half gave her the peace she'd been missing for years. Continuing to push yourself through exhausting routines guarantees burnout and steals the energy you could be using for joy and connection instead of mere survival. Look at your typical week and ask yourself honestly, which activities energize me and which ones deplete me? The ones that deplete you without providing real value or joy are candidates for elimination. You don't need permission to simplify. You don't need to wait until you're completely burned out. You can make different choices starting this week. Identify 3 tasks or commitments you can eliminate or delegate right now. Cleaning routines that could be less frequent, social obligations you attend out of guilt, household projects that will never be finished. Choose 3 and either eliminate them entirely or find someone else to handle them. The freedom you'll feel when you stop carrying unnecessary weight is worth whatever discomfort comes from making changes. Every day you maintain unnecessary complexity is a day you choose stress over peace. So simplify starting today. Your time and energy are too precious to waste on things that don't add genuine value to your life. Stop maintaining a lifestyle designed for a different version of you and create one that fits who you are now. The peace that comes from living simply isn't deprivation. It's liberation from everything that was weighing you down without your permission. Step 2. Let go of control over things you can't change. How much energy are you wasting trying to control people and circumstances that will never bend to your will? This is one of the biggest sources of stress for seniors, holding on tightly to situations you cannot influence while your peace drains away with every frustrated attempt. Psychologists at Yale University have extensively studied the relationship between control and anxiety, finding that seniors who practice acceptance of unchangeable circumstances show 43% lower anxiety levels and significantly better emotional resilience compared to those who continue fighting for control they don't have. The The weather will do what it does. Your adult children will make their own choices. Other people will have opinions you don't like. The world will change in ways you don't prefer, and absolutely none of your worry changes any of it. It only changes you, and not for the better. The Serenity Prayer isn't just a nice saying, it's scientifically backed wisdom about mental health. You need to identify the difference between what you can influence and what you cannot. Then release what's outside your control. Nina spent years trying to change her adult son's career choices, constantly offering advice he didn't want, worrying about decisions that were his to make, until she realized her worry changed nothing except her own peace. Acceptance brought immediate relief. You'll spend your remaining years in a constant state of frustration, fighting battles you cannot win while your peace evaporates, if you don't learn this crucial distinction now. The need to control comes from fear, and feeding that fear with futile attempts at control only makes it stronger. Write down 3 things you're currently trying to control that are actually outside your influence. Someone else's choices, a situation you can't affect, an outcome you can't determine. Look at that list honestly, then consciously release them by saying out loud for each one, "This is not mine to control." It sounds simple, almost too simple, but the act of verbalizing release creates a psychological shift. You're not saying you don't care. You're not saying it doesn't matter. You're saying you accept reality instead of fighting against it. Do this daily if needed. Every time you catch yourself trying to control the uncontrollable, pause and release it again. This is a practice, not a one-time event. The serenity that comes from releasing false control is waiting for you. Let go today and feel the weight lift immediately. Peace isn't found in controlling your circumstances. It's found in accepting what is while focusing your energy on the small circle of things you actually can influence. Your thoughts, your reactions, your choices, your boundaries, these are yours to control. Everything else needs to be released so it stops stealing your peace. Step 3. Build a small circle of genuine connection. Are you maintaining dozens of shallow relationships while starving for real connection? Many seniors measure their social health by how many people they know, how many events they attend, how full their calendar appears. But quantity isn't quality, and busyness isn't connection. Harvard's study of adult development, spanning over 85 years and following multiple generations, conclusively shows that the quality of relationships matters far more than quantity for senior well-being. Seniors with even 2 or 3 deep, authentic connections report higher happiness, better health outcomes, and greater life satisfaction than those with many superficial acquaintances. You don't need a huge social circle. You need genuine people who know you, accept you, and care about you beyond surface-level pleasantries. The exhaustion of maintaining obligatory relationships steals energy from cultivating real ones. Everett discovered this truth at 74 when he reduced his social circle from 30 regular contacts down to 5 genuine friendships. His stress decreased dramatically, and his sense of belonging increased because he stopped spreading himself so thin that no relationship received real depth. Those 5 people got his best, not his leftovers. You'll exhaust yourself maintaining relationships that don't nourish you while feeling lonely, despite being surrounded by people, if you keep prioritizing quantity over quality. Shallow connections create the illusion of community without providing the actual benefits. They drain your calendar and energy while leaving your heart still hungry for someone who really sees you. Choose 2 or 3 people who genuinely matter to you. People you can be yourself around, people who know your struggles and celebrate your joys, people whose presence makes you feel more alive rather than more tired. Invest intentionally in those relationships this month. Call them regularly, have real conversations, share what's actually happening in your life instead of surface updates. Let the obligatory connections fade naturally without guilt. You don't owe everyone equal access to your time and energy. Some relationships served their purpose in a previous season, and it's okay to let them go. Your heart knows the difference between genuine connection and social obligation. Honor that knowing. Authentic connection is what your heart needs. Stop spreading yourself thin and go deep now with the people who truly matter. A small circle of real friends beats a large network of acquaintances every single time. Peace comes from being known, not from being busy. Choose depth over breadth and watch how much lighter you feel. Step 4. Create financial clarity, not wealth. Is financial worry stealing your peace even though your actual situation is manageable? This is incredibly common among seniors, constant anxiety about money even when their finances are adequate for their needs. The American Psychological Association's research on aging reveals that financial anxiety in seniors often stems from lack of clarity rather than lack of money. Seniors who have a clear, written understanding of their finances, what comes in, what goes out, what's saved, what's owed, report 60% less money-related stress than those operating on vague feelings and estimates. The worry isn't coming from your bank account. It's coming from the fog surrounding your bank account. When you don't know your actual numbers, your imagination fills in the gaps, and imagination under stress always goes negative. Denise experienced this firsthand at 71 when she realized her constant worry about money disappeared once she finally sat down and wrote out her actual monthly income versus her monthly expenses. She had enough. She'd always had enough. She just hadn't seen it clearly written down, so her mind invented financial crisis where none existed. Vague financial worry will poison your peace daily, stealing your sleep and creating constant background anxiety, even if your actual financial situation is perfectly adequate for your needs. The human brain cannot relax when it perceives uncertainty about survival resources, and money represents survival. Give your brain the clarity it needs to stop triggering false alarms. Spend 1 focused hour this week creating financial clarity. Write down every source of monthly income, social security, pensions, retirement accounts, any other regular income. Write down every monthly expense, housing, utilities, food, insurance, healthcare, everything you regularly spend. Include annual expenses divided by 12. Don't estimate, get real numbers. Look at bank statements if needed. Once you see the reality in black and white, most of the anxiety disappears because you're no longer operating on vague fear. You're operating on actual data. If there's truly a problem, now you can address it specifically instead of drowning in generalized worry. If there's not a problem, your brain can finally stop sounding the alarm. Financial peace comes from clarity, not wealth. Get clear today and watch the worry dissolve. You don't need more money to feel peaceful about money. You need to know exactly where you stand. The clarity transforms vague anxiety into either reassurance or a specific problem you can solve. Either way, it's better than the fog. Step 5. Establish a consistent sleep rhythm. Could your lack of peace actually be exhaustion masquerading as anxiety? This is the powerful truth most seniors miss. Irregular sleep patterns create a cascade of symptoms that look like worry, depression, or anxiety when they're actually just chronic tiredness affecting your nervous system. The National Institute on Aging Sleep Research shows that inconsistent sleep patterns in seniors create problems, including increased anxiety, irritability, cognitive fog, diminished emotional regulation, and decreased ability to handle stress. Meanwhile, consistent sleep schedules improve all these factors dramatically, often within just 2 to 3 weeks. Your body runs on circadian rhythms that desperately need consistency, but modern life treats sleep like it's optional or flexible. It's not. Sleep is when your brain processes emotions, consolidates memories, and resets your stress response system. Irregular sleep keeps all these systems in chaos. Warren struggled with constant worry and irritability for months, trying different strategies to manage his anxiety, until his doctor suggested establishing a consistent sleep schedule instead of focusing on the anxiety itself. Within 2 weeks of sleeping and waking at the same time every single day, his baseline anxiety dropped noticeably because his nervous system finally got the rhythm it needed. Irregular sleep will keep your nervous system in a perpetual state of stress, making peace impossible regardless of what else you do right, because you're trying to function on a foundation that's constantly shifting. Every night you go to bed at a different time. Every morning you wake up at a different time. You're creating internal jet lag that leaves your body confused and your emotions unstable. Choose a consistent bedtime and wake time right now. Not someday, today. Make them realistic for your life. Then stick to those exact times every single day for the next 2 weeks, including weekends. Yes, even weekends. Your circadian rhythm doesn't take weekends off. If you choose 10 p.m. bedtime and 6 a.m. wake time, honor those times regardless of whether you fall asleep immediately or lie awake for a while initially. Your body will adjust, but only if you provide consistency. Even if you don't feel tired at bedtime, go to bed anyway. Even if you don't feel rested at wake time, get up anyway. The rhythm creates the results, but you have to give it time. Your nervous system is begging for rhythm and rest. Give it consistency starting tonight and watch your baseline anxiety drop. Peace isn't just about what you think about. It's about how your body feels, and your body feels terrible when it's chronically sleep-deprived or operating on irregular patterns. This one change affects everything else because you cannot think clearly, regulate emotions effectively, or handle stress appropriately when you're tired. Fix your sleep rhythm and half your problems may solve themselves. Step 6. Practice gratitude for small moments. Are you waiting for big reasons to feel grateful while missing the 100 small blessings surrounding you right now? Your brain has a built-in negativity bias. It's designed to scan for problems and threats as a survival mechanism. Without intentional intervention, this bias keeps you focused on what's wrong, what's missing, what could go wrong, completely overlooking what's right, what's present, what's working. Neuroscience research from UCLA shows that regular gratitude practice literally rewires the brain's response to stress. Seniors who practice daily gratitude show increased activity in brain regions associated with emotional regulation and decreased activity in anxiety centers. You're not just thinking positive thoughts, you're actually changing your neural pathways, training your brain to notice good alongside bad instead of fixating only on threats and problems. Colleen started listing 3 specific things she was grateful for each morning at 69. Within a month, her automatic thought patterns shifted from worry to appreciation without conscious effort because she trained her brain to look for blessings. Your brain will default to scanning for problems and threats, keeping you in a constant state of worry regardless of how blessed your life actually is, unless you deliberately teach it a different pattern. This isn't about denying real problems. It's about maintaining perspective by acknowledging that good and bad coexist, and you get to choose which one receives more of your attention. Problems demand attention. Blessings require intentional noticing. Every morning before getting out of bed, while you're still lying there, identify 3 specific things you're grateful for. Not vague, generic things like, I'm grateful for my family. Specific things like, I'm grateful my grandson called yesterday and made me laugh. I'm grateful the sun is coming through my window right now. I'm grateful my coffee will be hot in 10 minutes. Specificity matters because it trains your brain to notice details instead of glossing over life in broad strokes. Do this every single morning for 30 days. The first week feels forced. The second week feels easier. By week 3, your brain starts noticing blessings automatically throughout the day without prompting. By week 4, you've established a new neural pathway that runs parallel to your problem-scanning pathway, giving you balance instead of constant negativity. Peace grows where gratitude is planted. Start cultivating it this morning before your feet hit the floor. This simple practice costs nothing, requires only 2 minutes, and creates measurable changes in brain chemistry and function. You're not ignoring problems. You're refusing to let problems be the only thing you see. That shift alone brings profound peace. Step 7. Release the need to please everyone. How much of your worry comes from trying to make everyone happy while sacrificing your own peace? People-pleasing isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment wrapped in the fear of disapproval. Gerontology research from Johns Hopkins indicates that seniors who maintain firm personal boundaries and release people-pleasing behaviors experience markedly lower stress hormones, better cardiovascular health, and report feeling more authentic and peaceful in their daily lives. Every time you say yes when you mean no, every time you sacrifice what you need to avoid disappointing someone else, every time you twist yourself into uncomfortable shapes to gain approval, you send your nervous system a clear message. Everyone else matters more than you do. That message creates chronic stress because you're living in constant conflict between what you want and what you're actually doing. Gretchen spent 70 years saying yes to every request, every favor, every demand, until chronic stress contributed to health problems that landed her in her doctor's office at 72. Learning to say no without guilt or elaborate explanations gave her a lightness she'd never experienced in 7 decades. You'll spend your remaining years anxious about others' opinions and approval, while your own peace remains forever out of reach if you continue prioritizing everyone's comfort over your own well-being. The temporary discomfort of someone's disappointment when you say no is nothing compared to the permanent resentment that builds when you always say yes. Disappointing others occasionally is survivable. Disappointing yourself constantly is destructive. Say no to one request this week without apologizing or over-explaining. Practice the simple phrase, "I'm not able to do that," and then stop talking. You don't owe everyone a detailed justification for your boundaries. No is a complete sentence. The discomfort you feel when setting boundaries is temporary. It usually passes within hours or days. The resentment you build from violating your own boundaries is permanent and cumulative. People will adjust to your boundaries far more easily than you imagine. The ones who can't respect your limits were probably taking advantage of your inability to say no, and losing access to that isn't actually a loss for you. Real relationships survive boundaries. Exploitative ones don't, and you don't need to mourn their departure. Your peace matters more than their approval. Choose yourself today and feel the immediate relief. You're not responsible for managing everyone else's emotions. You're not obligated to sacrifice yourself to make others comfortable. Your well-being matters just as much as theirs does. And at this stage of life, protecting your peace isn't selfish. It's essential. The lightness that comes from releasing the need to please everyone is available the moment you decide your peace matters more than their approval. These 7 steps aren't complicated or expensive. They're simple shifts that create profound peace. Simplify your routine, release false control, build genuine connections, get financial clarity, sleep consistently, practice gratitude, stop people-pleasing. Thousands of seniors have already discovered that peace after 65 isn't about perfect circumstances. It's about these intentional choices. Lawrence found it, Pauline found it, Warren found it, and you can find it too, starting with just 1 step today. If you're ready to experience this kind of peace, hit that like button right now. I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 steps will you start with today? Drop a comment with the number 1 through 7 and tell me which one spoke to you. Subscribe to this channel for more practical wisdom that actually works for our generation. And please, share this video with another senior who's carrying too much worry. These 7 steps could give them the peace they've been searching for. Let's help every senior discover that a light and full life after 65 isn't just possible. It's waiting for them right now.